after the game. Jason Tatum couldn't even do his post-game press conference. Couldn't is an interesting word that I just used. He probably was pleased he didn't have to do it. You could make a whole bunch of metaphors, and I'm sure many people in my media brethren will make metaphors about the fire alarm. I'll just pause for a second while you come up with your own. Good job. But I did want to just spend something. Tim McMahon is covering the Oklahoma City game. I didn't watch 1 second of it. I think they won. Jackson, did they win? The Thunder? They were winning big. I was busy evacuating. So he's not available, and Tim Bontemps is burping his son. So it's just me for right now. There's a ton of statistics about this game that are about really these two games. They're absolutely crazy. You're going to probably hear a lot of them if you take in any media over the next couple of days. There's a couple that I'm just going to point out, but there's literally an unending supply. The Knicks have won 5 road playoff games in this postseason, 3 in Detroit and now 2 here in Boston. And they've won all of them by 3 points or less. All of them. To me, that is a more jaw-dropping statistic than the fact that they had 2 20-point comebacks in the second half of these last 2 games here in Boston. And Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown are 1 of 12 in clutch time. Boston's 100 or 25 of 100 on 3-pointers. I could go on and on. The Knicks have only led for 12 total minutes. There's been over 100 minutes played because the first game went to overtime. So they've led, for 10-ish%, and they're 2-0. That's never happened before. For anybody there's been like 239 teams that have gotten up 2-0 in a series. No one's ever only led for 12 minutes. I could keep going on and on and on. Let me just say, I went to both locker rooms after the game. The Knicks were chill. Obviously, they were very happy, but they were chill. There was a lot of praise in the Knicks locker room for Mitchell Robinson, who made a key adjustment on the last play of the game. So the Celtics missed 14 of their last 15 shots. They had 1 basket in the last 8.5 minutes. They had some free throws, but they had 1 actual basket. That's how you blow a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter, because that's where they were when that started going down. And that basket wiped out OG Anunoby on the play. But there's moving screens everywhere. I'm not focusing on that. It moved. Mitchell Robinson was kind of caught in no man's land. Tatum went right by him and dunked it. And so when Jalen Brunson hit 2 free throws to put the Knicks ahead by 1 point, he didn't want the Knicks to be able to take Jalen Brunson out of the game. They had already had Towns out of the game. I got to say, Mitchell Robinson, he was just brilliant in general in this game. The Knicks were really saved by his minutes on the court. And in the fourth quarter, the Celtics started playing hack a Mitch. They were hacking Mitchell Robinson. He took a free throw in the fourth quarter. I think it was in the fourth quarter where he shot it about 13 feet from the 15-point free throw line. It was embarrassing. Celtics fouled him to force him to be taken out of the game. He's a non-skilled backup center, and the Celtics were so unnerved by him that they fouled to get him out of the game. And if you saw what he did in the last play, maybe you would get it, because he was in the games for Karl Towns, and they elected to run the exact same play. Tatum got the ball, started his full court run. This time, instead of coming way up towards center court, Mitchell Robinson hung back. And I asked OG Anunoby, I said, did you and Mitch talk during the game? Because there wasn't a timeout. Nobody had called timeout. And I said, did you two talk how you were gonna defend it differently if they ran it again. And OG said, no, we didn't. We just knew what to do, which was to not come too far up the court. And so when Tatum came down, Anunoby was more ready for Al Horford in that moment, but he tried to call timeout at the end of the game on Monday, and he couldn't get the timeout. So Tatum went hunting for a shot. Mazzulla said he thought he had a look coming back from these 20 points down. And 'cause it's a weird thing. What's going on right now in this series is sort of inverse. I'm actually having a hard time quantifying it and talking about it on television and writing about it, because it's on its head. So the Celtics, even though they've got the lead, they play tight. And I think it's because they know Brunson's there. It's like, the boogeyman. And it's like, are they going to get it to clutch time? And then the Knicks, they play loose. Even when they get down like 16, 18, they always kind of bring it back. They kind of bring it back. They play very loose from behind. It's unusual because they're on the road and they're the underdog. By the way, as of right now, and it might be different by morning, the sports books don't know what to do with this series. I actually kind of feel better that I don't really know what's going on, because the sports books don't know what's going on either. They still have Boston as the favorite to win the East, obviously because the Cavs are down 2-0 as well. But they've got the Knicks as the favorite for the series, which leads me to believe that money's coming in all over the place. Nobody knows what to do here. So that makes me feel better. In the Boston locker room, obviously they're upset. But what I'm getting from listening to their players and talking to their players is that I don't think they quite understand why it's not working. They feel like they're running good offense. Now, you can pull out individual moments, like Tatum at one point in the fourth quarter had Jalen Brunson on him yet again. This is where he hoisted a three-pointer several times in game one. He had Brunson on him, and he gave the ball up like 2 seconds later. And you're like, what are you doing? You guys can't make a shot. You've got Jalen Brunson on you, ISO, no help. Go to the basket, or, get in and get a good shot. They started the game posting people up. They were posting Jaylen Brown up early in the game multiple times. They were driving in a little bit. It wasn't like they were abandoning the three, because they still took 40 tonight, but they were looking to go inside. That was just gone. So you can find individual moments where Tatum wasn't aggressive or Jaylen Brown wasn't aggressive, but they feel like they're getting good looks. They don't feel like they're failing in running their stuff. And that's what's confounding them, because they feel like it should be working. And they've just had 2 games in a row where their worst three-point shooting has happened to Cleveland too. Cleveland, the number one percentage three-point shooting team, they got all these injured guys, and they're like, wait, how are we having our worst shooting games when we're also having our star players injured? How is that our lot in life? And this is what Boston's saying too. How are we shooting this badly? It doesn't make sense. Like, I don't think they quite understand why this is not working. They don't feel like they're getting, and that's the other thing. And that's what I would say if you're a Knicks fan. I don't think the Knicks have played well yet. And the Celtics are a reason for that. I think they're defending well. They're causing the Knicks problems with their length and their ball pressure. That their Knicks are not getting a lot of good looks. The Celtics are getting way more good looks. And if you're a Boston fan, you're saying, well, that's going to come around, and maybe it will. But the Celtics are having a difficult time understanding why they're losing and what's happening in these games. And I am not able to provide, other than reading you statistics and looking at individual moments, I'm not able to provide you a reason why either. It's just sort of happening. And a lot of it is wrapped in confidence. And, and here's the other thing. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, the 2 wings that the Knicks traded for and are paying, and all these draft picks and everything, they're outplaying Tatum and Brown in the fourth quarter. The 2 get better. I mean, this wasn't even, again, Jalen Brunson, he had 9 points in the fourth quarter. He hit 2 huge shots, one of them a 3, one of them a driving shot, and then he made 2 clutch free throws. On the Brunson clutch scale, what do we think it was? A 7? Like, I don't even think it's one of his 3 best clutch. I mean, obviously it was a win. It doesn't matter, but like he's so good I can parse it. I don't think it was one of his 3 best clutch games of the 5 that he's helped them win. And so again, like if you know, on Saturday, Brunson could have 45 on Saturday. So could Tatum, but Brunson could have 45. Here's something else about the Celtics that should be a little bit worrisome. Kristaps Porzingis is not right. He played, but he didn't start. And I think it's because he's got no energy. And I talked to him after the game. I shouldn't say I talked to him. I was in the scrum with him, listening to him. And he basically said he doesn't feel well. And it's killing him that this is coming back around. And here's the thing, like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to say what's going on or what I've heard. He's not like got a runny nose and, you know, got a cough. He doesn't look, other than maybe just not looking with good coloring, he doesn't look like he has good color. He's not like sick, like, you know, got the flu. There's something else going on there. And, you know, he's like, no one's going to feel sorry for him. He's like, nobody cares. No one's going to feel sorry. I feel sorry for him for being sick because I can't imagine what it's like to be sick, and the doctors, and I'm sure he's getting, I mean, first off, Boston is a medical city. It's one of the leading medical cities of the world. I promise you, every good doctor who they could possibly consult, I'm sure, has been brought in on this. They don't know what it is, or if they know what it is, they're not being able to correct it. And
what's your favorite team? Comment below, and if you liked the video, please leave a like. This really helps the channel grow and brings you even more content. Oh, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and activate the bell to receive all notifications. With each game, we noticed that the NBA is getting more competitive every day, and all the teams are looking for reinforcements to win the championship. And only here can you follow your favorite team daily with incredible content from different sources. Here on the channel, there are new videos every day with analysis, curiosities, and the best moments in basketball. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for following along. The NBA doesn't stop, and neither do we. Until the next video. NBA, the passion that connects us.